Imagine walking into your classroom, but instead of a chalkboard at the front of the room, there's just this giant glowing pearl.
Oh, wow. That would be amazing.
Right. And instead of a really loud ringing school bell telling you to sit down, a massive humpback whale swims right by the window. And it sings this deep, booming song to let you know it's time for math.
That is definitely not your average school.
Not at all. So today's deep dive takes us completely underwater. We are talking directly to you, our young listener, and we just really want to know, are you ready for an underwater adventure?
I know I am. Today, we're diving into this fantastic children's book and educational story. It's called The Great Education Hunt at Coral Cove.
Such a great book.
It really is. And our mission today is to take the lessons from these pages and just, jump right into the story with you. So we're heading deep beneath the sparkling blue waves, past a school of shiny silver fish, and right into the Starfish Treasure School.
And what immediately stands out about this school is that the students, well, they aren't sitting at little metal desks or taking boring tests.
Right, no tests here.
Yeah, and instead of stuffing their backpacks into lockers, they use these giant, colorful seashells that just snap shut.
That sounds so much more fun than a locker.
Oh, totally. But the biggest difference of all is what they're actually studying for. I mean, they aren't trying to get a grade on a piece of paper. They are learning to become treasure hunters.
Which is just a brilliant setup for a story, honestly, because it completely reframes the whole purpose of education.
Yeah.
But before we can get to the treasure hunt, we really need to meet our crew of explorers.
Oh, yes. We definitely need to meet the crew.
Because the classroom is filled with a very unique group of sea creatures. So first, there's Finn. And Finn is a clownfish, so he's bright orange with those really bold white stripes.
And if we just think about clownfish for a second, they have this amazing superpower. Like, they live inside sea anemones, which have these stinging tentacles that actually hurt other fish.
But not clownfish.
Exactly. Clownfish have this special kind of slimy coating on their scales that acts like a magical shield, keeping them perfectly safe. So Finn is just zipping all over the classroom, completely protected and full of energy.
And then right next to Finn is Krabby the crab. Now, Krabby wears his skeleton on the outside of his body. It's called an exoskeleton.
Kind of like he's wearing a suit of armor, right?
Exactly like a suit of armor. And he's just clacking his heavy claws together because he's so excited to start the day.
I love Krabby. Then we have Ollie the octopus, who is quietly stretching his tentacles in the back of the room. And octopuses are incredible because they don't have a single bone in their entire bodies.
Not one.
Yeah, they can squeeze through a hole the size of a quarter. It's wild. And finally, there is Penny the baby shark, who is looking around the room with these very sharp, curious eyes.
Sharks are great observers.
They really are. They have a special sense that lets them feel tiny movements in the water from far away, which makes Penny a natural-born detective.
And, every crew of detectives needs a guide. So swimming up to the front of the room is their teacher, Captain Starfin.
The best teacher.
Truly. And, as you might guess from his name, Captain Starfin is a starfish. He waves his arms, welcomes his treasure hunters, and announces that today's lesson is the Great Reef Treasure Challenge.
And he doesn't just write a spelling list on the board. He reaches out and unrolls this massive, ancient-looking, sandy pirate map.
A real pirate map.
Yeah, and he tells the class that a real treasure is hidden somewhere right there in Coral Cove. But they can't just swim out and grab it. They have to solve a series of secret clues to find the exact location.
Which creates an immediate problem for the students to solve. I mean, how do you find a hidden location when you don't even know what the map is trying to tell you?
Right, you can't just guess.
Exactly. You can't rely on just swimming super fast or having sharp claws. You have to rely on your brain to decode the information.
So we want you, our listener, to join Finn, Krabby, Ollie, and Penny. The map is officially unrolled, and Captain Starfin reads the very first clue out loud. He says, "Find the shell with 5 points, just like me."
And instantly, the water just fills with bubbles as the students dash around the reef to look for it.
Oh yeah, total chaos. Finn the clownfish darts over to this totally smooth, round seashell. He asks if that's the answer, but a smooth shell doesn't have any points at all. It's perfectly curved.
Right, so that's a no. Then Ollie the octopus tries a different approach. He points a tentacle at a big, branching piece of coral.
But coral grows in hundreds of tiny random branches, right?
Exactly. It's beautiful, but it doesn't have exactly 5 points.
Yeah.
So the students are kind of guessing based on what looks cool or interesting rather than looking at the specific facts in the clue.
But that all changes when Penny the baby shark stops swimming. She stops looking at the roof and starts looking at the clue itself, and then she looks right at her teacher.
She's paying attention.
She is, the clue said. Find the shell with 5 points, just like me. And Penny realizes that Captain Starfin is a starfish.
I see what she did there. She didn't just guess randomly. She actually used the information provided to figure out the rule.
Yeah. It's like having the corner pieces of a jigsaw puzzle and using them to figure out where the edge pieces are supposed to go.
Exactly. Penny did something that scientists call deductive reasoning. She took a general rule, the clue saying like me, and she observed that her teacher is a starfish. And then she just connected the dots.
She used evidence.
Yes, evidence to figure out that they need to look for something with the same number of arms as a starfish. Because the starfish have a body shape called radial symmetry, which usually means they have 5 arms radiating out from their center.
Okay, so we need your help right now, listener. We need to apply Penny's deductive reasoning and make sure we know exactly how many points we are looking for.
Let's do it.
Let's count Captain Starfin's arms out loud together. Ready?
1,
2,
3,
4.
5. A starfish has exactly 5 arms.
5 arms. So the students swim off to find a shell with exactly 5 points. And sure enough, tucked right behind a bumpy 5-pointed shell, they find the second piece of the map.
And Captain Starfin praises them for it, pointing out that counting is actually what helped solve the puzzle. He's teaching them that numbers aren't just symbols you write on a piece of paper.
They're functional tools.
Exactly, they are tools.
So it shifts the whole idea of math, right? Instead of numbers just being something you have to memorize, they're the actual passwords you need to unlock the real world.
That's a great way to put it. Knowing how to count gave them the exact coordinate to find the next clue.
Okay, so with their counting skills proven, the map reveals the second clue, which requires a completely different cognitive skill. Captain Starfin reads, "Look near the creature with 8 waving arms."
And as soon as the clue is read out loud, Krabby the Crab just lets his excitement get the better of him.
He gets so excited.
He really does. He points his heavy claw at a big patch of green seaweed floating in the water and just yells, "Found it!"
Which Finn the clownfish immediately finds hilarious because seaweed definitely does not have arms.
Not at all.
I mean, if you think about it, saying seaweed has arms waving hello it's like saying the grass in your backyard has little hands.
Right, because seaweed is a plant.
Yeah, it's a plant. But it does bring up a good question. If seaweed doesn't have muscles or arms, why does it look like it's waving in the first place?
Well, that really comes down to ocean currents. The ocean water is never entirely still. It's constantly being pushed around by the wind up above and the pull of the moon's gravity, which creates tides.
So the water is always moving.
Always. And that moving water holds kinetic energy. Because seaweed is anchored to the ocean floor by this root-like structure called a holdfast, it can't swim away.
It's stuck there.
Right. So when the moving water pushes past it, the flexible plant just bends and sways. And Krabby saw that swaying movement and jumped to a conclusion without actually observing the mechanics of what was causing it.
So he used his eyes, but he didn't really use his observation skills. But then Ollie the octopus looks down at his own body. He raises his tentacles up into the water and realizes the clue is talking about him.
Ollie is a perfect fit for the clue, and honestly, not just because he can wave. An octopus's arms are just biological marvels.
They are so cool.
They're covered in hundreds of suction cups that can taste and feel everything they touch. In fact, an octopus has a cluster of nerves, like a mini brain, inside every single arm.
Wait, a mini brain in each arm?
Yeah. It allows each arm to think and move completely independently.
That is wild.
Yeah.
So their arms are essentially tasting the water while they wave?
Basically, yes.
Okay, so the clue asked for a creature with 8 waving arms, and we need to verify Ollie's hypothesis.
Right.
Listener, it is time to count again.
We need to be sure.
Exactly. Let's count Ollie's waving arms loud and proud to make sure we have the right creature. Ready?
1,
2,
3, 4,
5,
6,
7.
8. 8 arms. Ollie was spot on.
He got it. The students swim over to Ollie, they check the sandy floor right next to him, and they find the final marker on the map. The big X marks the spot.
They applied what they knew, they corrected their mistakes by observing the environment more closely, and they worked together as a team.
And their reward is buried right there beneath the soft, white ocean sand. It's this massive, heavy treasure chest.
This is the moment every treasure hunter waits for.
Oh, absolutely. Penny the baby shark shouts, "Open it!" So Captain Starfin wraps his 5 arms around the heavy wooden lid and slowly lifts it up. Bubbles rush out from inside the chest. Now, listener, if you've ever seen a pirate movie, You probably have a picture in your head of what's inside.
Yeah. Typically, you'd expect overflowing piles of heavy golden coins or maybe some sparkling diamonds or silver pirate crowns.
But they look inside, and there is no gold at all. None. The chest is totally full of different items. There are tall stacks of beautifully colored books, and there are writing pencils carved out of bright pink coral. Yeah, there are blank maps waiting to be drawn on, and these shiny little Explore badges for each student.
And Krabby the Crab is just incredibly confused by this. He looks at Captain Starfin and asks the question. They're all kind of thinking, where is the treasure?
I mean, I'm looking at these books and thinking about Krabby's reaction, and I totally get why he's disappointed. A gold coin is shiny and heavy, but a gold coin only spends once.
That's true.
If you buy a snack with a gold coin, the coin is gone forever. But a map teaches you how to navigate the whole ocean. I'm guessing Captain Starfin is trying to teach them about long-term value, like the difference between someone giving you a fish to eat and teaching you how to catch your own fish.
That is precisely the lesson here. Captain Starfin smiles at Krabby and says, "This is the treasure. Knowledge helps you solve problems, explore the world, and discover amazing things."
He's explaining the mechanism of learning, right?
He is. Gold just sits in a box, but learning physically changes you.
Wait, hold on. What do you mean learning physically changes you? How does reading a book physically change a crab or a clownfish?
Well, it happens through a process called neuroplasticity.
Neuroplasticity, that's a big word.
It is a big word, but it's a really cool concept. Basically, inside your head, your brain is made up of billions of tiny helpers called neurons. And when you learn something brand new, like how to use deductive reasoning to find a five-pointed shell or how to count to 8 to find an octopus, those tiny helpers reach out and hold hands with each other.
Oh, I see.
They build a brand new bridge inside your brain.
Oh, that is fascinating. So your brain is actually growing almost like a muscle.
Exactly like a muscle. The more you learn, the more bridges you build, your brain literally gets stronger and more connected. So Captain Starfin is showing them that without their brain power, without knowing what radial symmetry is or how to count, they never would have found the chest in the first place.
So the real treasure wasn't just the books in the box.
No, it was the physical upgrades their brains received while solving the puzzles.
I love that. You can't accidentally drop knowledge down a drain, and no one can steal those bridges out of your brain. It stays with you wherever you swim.
It's yours forever.
So the students look back at their morning. They remember laughing at the seaweed mistake. They remember the thrill of figuring out Ollie's 8 arms. And they realize the teacher is totally right. Figuring things out feels amazing.
It really does. It gives you the tools to turn a confusing ocean into a familiar neighborhood.
It's a profound shift in perspective for them. Education is no longer this chore where you just sit at a desk and wait for a bell to ring. It's an active hunt.
It's the process of building those bridges in your brain so you can navigate the world.
Exactly. And our story concludes with Finn, Krabby, Ollie, and Penny proudly pinning their shiny new Explorer badges onto their scales and shells.
They earned them.
They sure did.
Yep.
And from that day forward, they could not wait to wake up and go to school because they understood that every single lesson was an adventure.
And every adventure leads to a new treasure for your mind.
So, listener, let's just recap the incredible skills you practiced today alongside our underwater crew. You didn't just listen to a story.
Nope, you worked hard.
You did. You used deductive reasoning to figure out that a starfish has 5 points. You learned the marine biology behind why seaweed sways in the ocean currents.
You use your observation skills to separate a plant from an 8-armed octopus.
And you used your counting skills to unlock the secrets of the map.
But most importantly, you learned the secret of Coral Cove.
Yes, the fact that the most valuable treasure in the world isn't buried under the sand. It is the new bridges you build in your brain every single time you learn a new skill.
Which is pretty amazing when you think about it.
It really is. So we want to leave you with one final thought to mull over for the rest of your day. Now that you are an official treasure hunter too, complete with a stronger, upgraded brain, what is something brand new you want to learn today that could be your next hidden treasure?
The world is absolutely full of clues, just waiting for you to uncover them.
So keep your eyes open, keep asking questions, and keep exploring.